Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the player ratings. Everton 1, Palace 0. Everton through to the fourth round of the FA Cup. And it's nice to get back to winning ways. Unbeaten in 3 games. What a start to the new year. Yeah, nice to be back to winning ways. Wasn't the greatest game in the world, as you all saw. It was certainly a cold one tonight at Goodison. But we got through. We got through, and to be honest, that's all that matters, isn't it? That's all that matters, that we got through in the Cup. We play Luton Town a week on Saturday. And that's all you can ever hope for in a game like that. They're always third rounds or even fourth rounds. They're always, let's be honest, they're always crap. Let's be honest, they are always crap. I was trying to think before of when the last time I was trying to think before of like recent FA Cup runs, but of course under Lampard I think we beat Brentford, didn't we? Was it 3-0, and then we beat Boreham Wood, and then we went out against Palace after we beat Hull in the third round, didn't we? So none of those games were particularly. The Brentford game was alright, but none of those games were particularly great, to be honest. So sometimes that's just the way it is, because at the end of the day, teams like Everton and teams like Crystal Palace, they view the FA Cup now as almost take it or leave it. Certainly in the early rounds, because it's all about being in the Premier League. That's all that matters these days, being in the Premier League. And I thought Palace tonight, you could see that clearly, that they just, certainly towards the end of the game, like taking Eze off with 20 minutes to go was a very, very strange one, I thought. But you've got to protect the players, because all that matters these days is the Premier League. At the end of the day, that's all that matters. So you never get good games, let's be honest. Sorry, I'm trying to do 2 things at once here. You never get good games, but we're through, and we're through because of a fantastic goal. That's it, isn't it? We're through because of a fantastic goal. Really nice to see us get a free kick and score. It's the first one for a while, and it was a lovely goal, absolutely lovely goal. Bent round, just clipped the post to just give it that little bit of something, because when the ball hits the post and bounces in, it just makes it look even sweeter. So yeah, we're through. A couple of nervy moments at the end. Just it wouldn't be Everton, would it? Wouldn't be Everton with a comfortable game, because up to the last couple of minutes, it was a very, very comfortable game. As I said, a couple of nervy moments towards the end, but we're through. To be honest, I suppose the biggest news would be off the pitch tonight. Sean Dyche confirming that Abdoulaye Doucouré's got another hamstring injury. Obviously, it's to the other leg, but I don't think that doesn't really make me feel any better. Yeah, and he could be out for a while. He'll certainly probably missed the Luton game, missed the Fulham game, maybe missed the Spurs game. Yeah, and then the other news was that a delegation from 777 were in the ground, almost to say, we're here, we're not going away, and we're going to get this done. Josh Wonder, it must have been Josh Wonder's brother, unless it's like, do you know, you ever seen that film, The Devil's Double, where one of Saddam Hussein's kids gets a double in case anyone has a go with him? I just wonder whether Josh Wonder's got one of them for aggravated fans of football clubs, a distraction to allow him to get away. But yeah, matching everything, matching caps, which was a bit weird. But they were there tonight, and as I said, it was almost like, after what has been said in the last couple of weeks, and obviously what was said yesterday by Richard Masters, it was almost like, yeah, we are we are here and we are going to get the job. We're going to get this over the line. Whether that happens, we'll have to wait and see. But the body double was from London. I don't think he was. The guy who played him was from London. There you go. Right, let's get into it. I'm gonna go old school on my ratings tonight because I've got no stats for the game whatsoever because they haven't been provided by the place I normally provide them for. So I can't rely on any other outstanding things other than what my eyes seen tonight. So they might be a little bit more basic. Joe Virginia in goal. I thought he had a really good all-round game. I think his kicking needs work. Obviously, it's nowhere near Jordan Pickford's. But Jordan Pickford, obviously, one of his big attributes and one of the big reasons he got into the England team and pushed on was because of his kicking. His longer kicking's not amazing all the time, but a lot of his shorter passing is quite good. But I thought he had a really, really good all-round game. He came off his line, I thought, really well. There was one nervy moment at the end where he came out and skidded and then he lost the ball. But thankfully they put it wide. But apart from that, I thought he came off his line really well tonight and commanded his area. Made one really good save just after we'd scored. Get a big-handed shot, might have been going top corner, it might have been going wide, it might have hit the post, but he got a really good hand on it. And I thought his all-round game was really good tonight. For a lad who obviously was being on loan a couple of times, come in for the first game, managers put him in for this game. I thought it was a really solid performance, and it's good because it keeps to have a solid number two, to have someone number one, to have faith in your number two as a fan is really important. I think, you can look to the past and think, when you've got a dodgy number two, you look at it and think, oh God. I mean, Begovic wasn't terrible, and had some important games playing for Everton, coming into the team. Sometimes he was like a hologram, I'll give you that. But I think it's really important that you do have a number two to have confidence in, but also is pushing your number one, pushing your goalkeeper to say, you better stay on your toes, otherwise. I think that's a good sign from the manager that he's put him in to do that. They mightn't be necessarily the reasons, but it's important that you keep people on their toes, especially when you've got such a small squad. And I think that was evident tonight with the subs as well. And also the team that was picked with Gomez playing. So I thought he had a really solid all round game. So I would give Joe Virginia a 7.7 for tonight's performance. Nathan Patterson did all right, but I still think there's a lot of work to do. He's a funny one, Patterson, because I think he's one of them where it divides opinion. Obviously, the manager doesn't think he's the finished article by any means and prefers the two more senior players ahead of him. But there's a lot of people who've written him. Written him off might be the wrong word, but a lot of people just don't think he's good enough. I'm willing to give him the chance because I must admit I have personally written other players off far too early, and players like Dwight McNeil and certainly Michalenko have come through sticky spells and have got levels of consistency. Now that levels of consistency might not be the top level, but at least they have a level of consistency where you look at them every week and you know what you're going to get from them, certainly, and they know their position. And I think once a player knows their position, and I think this is a big one for Michalenko. I think when they know the position and they're comfortable, they calm down, and all the other little things get. They worry about them less. All the little things. So I think he's still got a little bit to go. He doesn't always look confident in himself. So, but he was. Don't get me wrong.
by no means like terrible tonight at all. I just think he's still got a long way to go, and you can understand why the manager prefers Seamus Coleman or Ashley Young. So I would give him a 6.8 for tonight. On the other side, Mykolenko, again, nothing like spectacular, but just did his job. Didn't really get into the final third as such, but just as doing his job, just does his job really well. Now, and that's what I'm saying. He does the basics really well, and that's something that's come on so much. Where when he first got into the team and playing last season, there was still elements where you're just like, you need to be doing more than this. Your touch and like even 5-yard passes, but all those little things now he does so easy and so well, and he's that helps you go onto the next level. So again, good tonight, good, and just keeps on improving. So I would give Mykolenko a 7.8 for tonight's performance. James Tarkowski, I thought it was a quite comfortable night for him and Jared Branthwaite. I haven't got the numbers in front of me, but defensively, nothing really got past them. There was, as I said, the last you had to go into like injury time in the second half before we really sort of become before it becomes sort of worrying. Before you start, fans were like, before then we're just counting down the minutes because it was cold and stuff. So what I love about Taki is how he just goes into every tackle. You know the way you got players going to a tackle and they go not half-hearted, but they think they'll just nick it. No, Taki just goes in. He just goes in. He just goes in, steams in, and that's the end of it, and wins the ball. So yeah, Taki 7.5. Jared Branthwaite again, calm. I love his little headers. Like the ball comes over, he just the little knockdown headers. Always finds somebody. His range of passing is great. Left foot, right foot. It is nice to see that he's so comfortable on the ball, and does things so calmly, and makes the game look pretty simple. And I think when a player makes the game look simple, they're really good at it. So Jared Branthwaite, I give 7.5 to as well. Midfield. First half was just like we kept on losing the ball, giving it back to them, and they give it back to us. There was no real rhythm to the game at all, and no one really got a grip of the middle of the park at all. So there's no real consistency in there. Onana picked up a stupid yellow card, but it didn't really stop him from trying to make those sliding tackles. Again, he's another one who makes things look really comfortable, but at times maybe he's a little bit too laid back in his play, and I think that can frustrate people. And there was an element of that tonight where he's just maybe a little bit too laid back. Because again, I look at him so often, I just think you've got gears to go through. And he doesn't necessarily do it because he just keeps it nice and simple. But I thought he was fine. I think he was anything more than fine. I just thought he just did his job without, again, it was one of those performances where you think you could do more here. So, Onana, I would give a 6.9 to. James Garner, again, industrious, gets around the pitch, but too often maybe is a little bit. He's another one I want to see more from. I want to see more. The consistency, he's finding more consistency, a lot more consistency in his game. But again, you just think, in a game like that, you just think, come on, grab hold of this scruff. One of you two grab hold of this game, for God's sake, and get us through the game. But neither of them really did tonight. So I would give Garner I've set the benchmark too high by giving Patterson 6.8, haven't I? Might have, yeah. I think I've put the benchmark too high by giving him a 6.8. Yeah, I'm gonna actually Patterson. I'm gonna say 6.5, and I'm gonna give James Garner 6.7. Andre Gomez got the goal. I think he made the run as well for the goal, didn't he? Get fouled. Do you know what? There's such Andre Gomez. There is a player in there. There's definitely a player in there, but I think one moment in the second half summed them up, which is we played him through, and he wasn't quite one-on-one, but he just decided that he wasn't going to beat the last player. He was ahead of him, and he just decided he wasn't going to beat him. So that sort of sums him up of where he is when you look at him. Sorry, it wasn't Onana who got a booking, it was Jack Harrison. Sorry. My eyes. Well, it wasn't my eyes, I thought he'd booked him. But I thought Onana had been booked on bloody Sunday, but it wasn't, it was Tarkowski. That's it. He's just got no pace, has he? Like, and he just doesn't like trust himself either. He doesn't trust himself either to get to. He's just, but there's such a player in there. You can tell he would be a. You can understand why like Barcelona bought him. There's definitely a player in there, but he just hasn't been able to put it all together for whatever reason. But his free kick tonight was magnificent. It really was. It was magnificent. And we haven't seen a free kick like that at Goodison for a long while. You know, certainly at direct one, as I said before, just pinging. And I actually fancied him when he stepped up. I just had a weird sense that he'd get it over he'd get it on target. And it was pinpoint accuracy. It was a great goal to win a game of football. And I think he did for the most. I think he did for the most part grab hold of the game for as much as he could do with his sort of limited pace. If he had the pace to just get away from people when he run. Now I don't know whether that's down to the injury he got or culmination of injuries, or because I just remember the performance at Old Trafford and the performance at Anfield as well, when people were just like, wow, who's this player? And even when he came back from the injury against Arsenal at the Emirates, just the way he got away from people. But it just doesn't seem to be there, or whether he just doesn't have confidence in his own body. And I thought that moment in the second half really did sum that up. It's like, just run with the ball and see what happens. But he didn't. He checked and then he lost the ball. It's just like that's the issue right there. But magnificent free kick, and I thought he played well, to be honest, all round. I thought he tries to do something a little bit different. He's got it, but maybe he could play that role in the absence of the Corey. Maybe he's the next best thing, just sitting in that number 10 role, because when he played, as I said, when he's played previously under different managers and he's played too deep and he's chasing backwards, I mean, I've got some horrible memories of people just skipping past him. But in that number 10 role, I think he can offer something different, and it gives him a little bit more freedom that suits where he is as a player right now. It's not perfect, but it is what it is. So I'd give him, certainly for that, I'd give him for the free kick, I'm giving him an 8.5, because the free kick was just magnificent and it won us the game. So I'm giving him an 8.5. Jack Harrison, I thought he was poor tonight. I really did. I thought he was poor tonight. just too slow in possession and no end product. And yes, listen, we know he works hard. We know he keeps the shape really well. But I've said this far too many times. If you're playing as a wide man, you have to have end product. You have to get the ball into the box, and you have to make things happen. And he just doesn't make things happen enough for me in enough games. He does in some games, but just not in enough games. And tonight I thought he was poor. I really did. I thought he was poor. The manager likes him because obviously he keeps the shape and he gets back and he defends and but working hard's not enough. It's the basis of any Premier League footballer or any footballer. And I know there's the thing, people go, oh, wingers, they don't. I don't think he puts enough quality into the box. I think he's too slow on the ball. If the ball gets stuck under his feet, I have said numerous times, if he had a right back who went past them more, then I think it might be a bit different. But I just thought he was poor tonight. I thought he was poor, to be honest. So I would give him a 5.8 for tonight's performance. Dwight McNeil on the other side, I didn't think was much better, to be honest. I think his excuses is he's been brought back too quickly because he has to. It's almost like, can you run? Yeah, you're playing. And that's the end of it. You've got 10 days off now, so you're playing. But he'll have wanted playing, but I think he was much better. And I think the season is... I know we had this little purple patch, Forest game and Newcastle game, and for those 4 games around that area, I think this season has passed them by a little bit, Dwight McNeil, apart from December. I think it's passing him by. Again, he's another one. He works really hard and does all that, but don't get me wrong, I think he does more than Jack Harrison, but I do think the season is passing him by a little bit. And I think he has to find that, and don't get me wrong, he's not fit at the moment, and he wasn't fit at the beginning of the season, but I do think he needs to find a higher level of consistency, and that's the same with Jack Harrison. But the difference is, I think we've seen that higher level of consistency with Dwight McNeil at the back end of last season. I don't think he's anywhere near the level he was like last season. I really don't. And I'm not sitting here having a go at him. And a lot of that will be the way we play. It will come down to, we play so many games with less than 40% possession. And that is clearly having a toll on the players. And by the way, I don't blame the manager for that as such, because that's the way he thinks we're getting the best results out of this team. And in real terms, we've got 27 points, which I think is a decent return, even though at the moment it's 17 points. But he's obviously chose to play, and it's having its toll. And players are now picking up injuries, obviously, in December and in January. And the squad is really, really stretched, because playing games with less than 30% possession or 40% possession takes its toll on you, because you're having to work so hard, and these players look burnt out by it. So I do think he's gonna. I think he is gonna. He does need a higher level, and obviously they've got 10 days off now. Obviously, come back against Luton, and then we play Fulham away. But yeah, let them have a rest. Go away. Go to somewhere hot. Get those muscles. Because that's the other thing. The cold on the muscles, fatigued muscles, isn't great. So Dwight McNeil, 6.3 for tonight. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, couple of chances. Had one early on first half. The keeper made a save. Then he had one second half, pushed it wide. Again, I'll be honest with you, I'd hate to be a centre forward in this Everton team. I really would. Whether it's Beto or it's Dominic Calvert-Lewin or anyone, I'd hate to be a centre forward. You just don't get any service. You don't get any service whatsoever. And that's not letting Dom off for some of the chances he's missed. You just don't get any chances. We don't make chances for them. And that Dom plays because he's a good back to goal striker who will hold the ball up for you. That's why he plays. Beto doesn't play for that because he's not. And that's why Dom plays, and I don't think it matters. I don't think it matters how poorly Dom plays. He's going to get ahead of Beto all the time because Beto just doesn't do that. He just doesn't. Beto doesn't even know how to press, and that's why Dom plays. So, but I'd hate to be. I'd hate to be a forward in this team. I really would, because they just don't get any service whatsoever. They get half chances, and and it's something we have to massively improve on. It's why Decore's such a big important player, because the goals have just dried up without him, completely dried up. And the chances have dried up since he's not been in the team either. Him making runs, pulling players out of position, opening space for other players. But Dom, yeah, again, it was a thankless task for him tonight, just running channels and holding the ball up, and he just didn't. As I said, this is not me defending Dom. This is not me going, it doesn't matter. Being a centre forward in this Everton team is, we'd have to have elite level centre forward who can create things from absolutely nothing from the chances that we get. Now, some people will go, well, if he better movement, blah blah blah. Yeah, doesn't really matter. We don't have a player who does that, so Dom will continue in the team. But so Dominic Calvert-Lewin, I'd give a 6.5 for tonight's performance. Subs, Lewis Dobbin, very interesting sub. 13 minutes to go. Bringing him on in the number 10 role, and he did really play central. Interesting choice by the manager, having Beto and Danjuma on the bench. An interesting move to put him on there. Showed a lot of confidence in him. To put him in that role, he did all right, but Dobbin has to learn. He gets very excited on the ball, very very excited on the ball. He has to calm down. There was a couple of moments. There was one where we were breaking 3-on-2, and he was running with the ball, and he waited too long to release McNeil, and then the ball it pushed McNeil wide. And if it had been a decent ball, McNeil was in on goal. And then there was another one where he had an easy ball to the right and he had the shot, and he was never in that position. He has to calm down. It's like he knows he's only going to get limited minutes, so has to impress. You don't have to impress. What you have to do is come on and do your job, do the basics, calm it down. Do the simple things, but do the simple things well. He just seems to me like he's dead excited to be on, and he has to do something. I've got to have a shot. I've got to take someone on. No. Just calm down and do the simple things well. If you play a 5-yard pass and it gets one of our players in and he scores or gets a shot off, you've done your job. But if you get excited and play that 5-yard pass ahead of the player, then you've made something easy look hard. Or if you take a shot when there's a shot not on and there's a simple pass, then you've made the wrong choice. It's all about making the right choices. Dobbin's got opportunities to get in this team. He's got opportunities to get in off the bench. Got opportunities to start, but he's got to calm down. And that's what you build. You build your reputation or your career on having a solid bedrock. I can come into the team. I can help this team, and the manager trusts me. I remember when Anthony Gordon got in the team under Rafa Benitez, previously under Carlo, exactly the same as Dobbin. Get on the ball. I'm going to impress you. I'm going to show you. I'm going to do this amazing thing. Doesn't track back. doesn't do the basics what the manager's asking him for. Under Carlo Ancelotti, the manager asked him to just play a role and do it. Forget about all the fancy stuff. And he did it. And that's how Anthony Gordon got himself into the Everton team and kept himself in the Everton team. Hard work first with the basics, and the stuff will come afterwards. And I think Dobbin just has to calm down a little bit. So obviously he got talent, but he wants to get it out. Wants to do something. Wants to impress everyone. Wants, and that's fine. But that's not always what the team needs. So with the squad, the size of it, just calm down a little bit. Just calm down. So Dobbin, I would give 6.4. Beto, what was he on? He was only on 10 minutes. As I said, I can understand why the manager doesn't start him. It's very easy to. I put it in my starting 11. I said in my starting 11 that a player can play himself into the team, play himself out of the team rather than someone else playing themselves into the team. But I fully understand why Sean Dyche plays Dominic Calvert-Lewin even when he's in poor form, because of what he does for the team, the pressing he does, the winning the ball in the air, running the channels. Beto hasn't quite figured that all out yet. And he's another one. He's another one. It's going to take him. It's just going to take him time. It's going to take everyone. I think everyone, when you buy players, everyone expects them to be the finished article. I don't think he's anywhere near. I mean, don't get me wrong. He's only played 10 minutes, so it's not like I'm expecting loads from him. But when you watch him, you can understand why the manager prefers Dominic Calvert-Lewin to him. And it's going to take time. It's going to take time. As I look at it at the moment. So let's hope there's more to come from him, because he will be absolutely dying for an opportunity to get in this team. He'll look at it and think, he's not scoring goals, why am I getting an opportunity? But when you do get an opportunity, you have to take it. It's as simple as that. You have to take that opportunity when it comes. And I don't think he was on for 10 minutes. I don't think he did anything in the 10 minutes. I really don't. So I'd give him a 6 for that performance. So we're through. That's all you can hope. By the time the game comes, hopefully we'll have a fit Seamus Coleman, a fit Ashley Young. I don't think we'll have a fit Decore. Players are well rested, and we have a bit more spring about us, because tonight wasn't great, but we're through, and that's all that matters. We're through, so we can enjoy the weekend. We can enjoy the next 10 days ahead of the game against Luton in the 4th round. There you go. Make sure to check out Baz's videos. Make sure to check out my Gladys Street reaction if you haven't already. Some great images from in and around Goodison Park tonight. Some people moan, I just want your reaction. Well, just skip to my reaction then. But if you're not at Goodison Park, if you don't get an opportunity to see Goodison Park, if you're somewhere around the world and you've never been to Goodison Park, check out my Gladys Street reactions. You always I always try and grab some shots from around the ground, give you a little bit of atmosphere around. So I couldn't give you the coldness tonight. But there you go. Thanks for watching. We'll be doing the final word tomorrow over on Toffee TV Premier. We'll be live also at 1 o'clock on YouTube. I'll catch you all then. See you later. Bye.